So this equation here, I've got equation 1, which is 2m squared minus 3n squared minus 8 plus m equals 0. And equation 2 is 2m squared minus 3n squared plus 6 minus m equals 0. Now I want to eliminate one of the variables, but the first thing I noticed was that there's a big chunk of both equations that are exactly the same. If they're exactly the same, we can actually get rid of them by subtraction. Now, that only helps us out if we're left with one variable when we combine those equations. In this case, we're just going to be left with the variable m here and the variable m here. That's the same variable. So by combining these equations and getting rid of that big chunk, we're just going to be left with one variable to solve for, which is the point of systems of equations. We want to eliminate the variables so that we have one variable left over. So I've put equation 1 on top, 2m squared minus 3n squared minus 8 plus m equals 0, and I'm going to subtract equation 2. Now when I subtract equation 2, this whole piece here, this becomes a zero pair, and they just cancel out. I end up with negative 8 minus positive 6. We just have to make sure we mind our positives and negatives. So that gives us negative 14. Positive m minus negative m. Minus a negative means we're going to add. So we end up with plus 2m, and that's equal to 0 plus 0, which is 0. Solving for m, we can add 14 to both sides, and I end up with m equals 7. So now I've solved for m. I just need to substitute into one of the equations to solve for n. Okay, so I'm just going to arbitrarily choose equation 1 to do this into. So equation 1, I'm going to substitute 2m squared minus 3n squared minus 8 plus m equals 0. And I'm going to substitute in our m equals 7 wherever I had an m in that equation. So I'm going to get 7 squared here, 7 here. And I can then work this out. So solving this, I get 2 times 49, that's going to be 98, minus 3n squared, minus 8, plus 7 equals 0. Mind our positives and negatives. I'm just going to add 3n squared to both sides. If I add this together, 98 minus 8 is 90, plus 7 is 97. Okay, solving for n squared equals, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I'm going to get rid of the the square by square rooting, and I get plus minus root 97 over 3. So one solution is going to be 7 and positive root 97 over 3. That would be one solution. The other solution is going to be 7 and negative root 97 over 3. So those are my two solutions.